So I wanted to talk about something that I've been noticing lately in language learning, and it's also come up in just noticing it in conversations with people lately as well. There's a stage between hearing what someone's saying and understanding it that I think I skip often. So it's a personal realization for me. I've noticed it in the office working with patients, and I immediately go into summarizing. It's helpful. I mean, I try to repeat what they've said is wrong, and I summarize it, and I interpret it, and make sure that that's actually what they're saying. I mean, we were taught to do this. I think it's seen as respectful. It's seen as helping somebody be seen. But there's something off about it for me, which is what I want to talk about today. And it's that part between, there's something, when you skip this, there's this one part between the sound or what they're saying and understanding. And if you skip it, you get kind of a cold feeling when you're speaking to somebody. It sounds mechanical. It sounds like you're analyzing them, you're processing them like you're a computer. It doesn't feel at all like you're connecting with them. And so now that I'm talking, now that I realize this, I'm actually pausing in my conversations with people and trying very hard to go there with them and connect with them at a different level, and I'm preventing myself from summarizing them and immediately interpreting what they're saying. I'd rather just not say anything. I'm sitting in the ambiguity of the moment and letting that just be. And I think it's been very helpful in actually connecting with people lately. And I think it's also helpful in learning languages. One little metaphor that I want to bring up before I get deeper into that is, I've noticed when I'm on a hike with different people, some people are flicking their camera constantly, and they're immediately framing something instead of feeling it and having the experience of the view of the moment, even in social situations. Let's get a picture of this. I mean, they're constantly in that processing, interpreting stage, and that idea of framing is I think really helpful too. And you can take that into conversation. You can frame an interpretation of something, like a snapshot. And I think that the main thing, I think it really does, and this is hard to explain, but like when you're looking at the view, it's expansive and it's open. And the minute you take that picture, you're closing it in that frame, and you're making it just that. And in a conversation too, when somebody says something and you immediately move to closing it down and summarizing it, the conversation could be much more expansive and larger than what initially seems from those words that they said, or if you let those words sink in. And so just stopping and being comfortable in that silence and the unknown, you start to feel a lot more of what people are talking about and what they're trying to say, and you connect a lot more with them. And I think the same thing is really true with language. I don't think I hear language, or I haven't been able to hear language in the past. That's why I'm pushing the music thing. I definitely skip that stage. And I don't think that's uncommon. I think that's what we're taught to do. We have the grammar textbooks, we have the language apps, they immediately show you the meaning, and so many people aren't comfortable hearing a word without knowing exactly what it means. They're restless, and they want to skip that stage of just getting the feel for a sound. And if you don't get a feel for the sound, you'll never know what the native ear hears when they're hearing that sound, because you've never really embodied it or felt the emotional pull of it, the tone, the quality, all of what you hear naturally when you give that time to sit with you is thrown out the window when you go straight to the meaning of it. So you're really just skipping the sound and moving straight to translation. that missing stage is the sound, the rhythm, the tone, the feeling. I think it's very similar with the sculpting. I've used this analogy many times before because I think it was kind of a big moment for me. It was in end of college. I was taking an elective sculpture class, and the teacher mentioned that the real problem with most of his students at the beginning, or with anyone who's sculpting an actual person, and this is in Boston, so it was a very interracial school, and so everybody was from a different culture in the classroom. And he says, because we're not really all used to seeing faces that don't look similar to ours, you really need to take a lot of time between the actual sculpture, interpreting work with the sculpture work itself, and stare at the person and move around them and get every single angle. Otherwise, he's seen it many times before, you'll be sculpting in stereotypes. You'll flatten the lines of the face. It won't look realistic. It won't look like a human face. It'll look like it just flattens out the whole identity of the person. And I think the same is true with language. If you don't take a lot of time to listen to the music, listen to the sounds, listen to native speakers, watch television, have a few friends that are native speakers, do the tutoring, listening to people, just absorbing it all at a deeper experiential level, you're never going to really speak fluently like a native, and you do want to speak fluently like a native. You don't want to skip that stage, because communication, cultural communication in languages it's cultural. It's a lot more than just the technical translation of the language. There's so many different levels that it's functioning at, and in order to take all those in, all those little angles, you really need to stare at it a long time, or just listen to it really carefully over and over again for quite a while, and it stalls the process in a way, and it takes a lot of patience, and it takes I think a little, sounds funny, we don't like to sit in silence. Nobody does, or a lot of people don't. We don't like ambiguity, we don't like the unknown. And when you're listening to a sound, when you're listening to a song where you don't really know the meaning, you're in that zone. But it's a very important zone to be, and it's a very important zone if you really want to deeply understand a language and be able to communicate in a way that a native, somebody who's born in that culture, will appreciate and understand. So, again, in summary, there's this space between the sound and understanding that we really need to focus on in order to speak a language naturally and fluently. And I think that's all I wanted to say today. This is, I think, the fourth in my series of language learning and music videos. I have a playlist with Korean songs that I'm writing, and there should be a link to this. And then I have another playlist of more videos like this. So hopefully you'll look at those, and thanks for joining me today.